Howdy. Let me get my sound situated here. We're good, right? What's happening? I got my face in the box. Greetings, one and all. It's Robert Phoenix, and it is the Astro Weather. Let me see who we have in attendance today. If I call your name, please say present. Raise your hand and say present. DJ Pebblestone. There she is. Present. Brandy Herrera. Where is she? Brandy. Okay, there she is, Brandy. Hello, Brandy. Present. Sue Leonard, checking in from Oz. What's going on, Sue? Longtime listener. Always good to see you. Michael Cisternino in the house. Tom was approaching. The only time Tom comes in here is when there's bad news. I heard the shuffle of his feet. I heard the sound of my voice, and I think he did, and then he shuffled back. Chloe, what's happening, Chloe? Starting the day right. You got that right. Christina. Terrific. It is a great sunrise, right? I forget where that's from. Where the heck is that from? I'm trying to think. Where is that from? I think it's Florida. I think that's from Florida, if I'm not mistaken. A rare snow day in Florida. No, I'm just kidding. Scott Jerzik, right behind. Oh yeah, I was in on Frank's show last night. We kind of conspired a little bit for me to call in. Always love Frank. I got to get Frank back on the Friday show. I love Frank. I love what he does. He's so good at what he does. Just covers all the bases. I think he's got one of the best podcasts and live streams on the internet, bar none. Let's see, Misbehaving 2, Artist here. Susie G. What's up, Susie G? I'm in a good mood today. Mary Grether. Hi, Mary. Nora Rashid. The Queen of Feet. She's here. Barbara Boots. You can start with the show, but have lots of errands to run this morning. You are busy, Barbara. You're triple B, busy Barbara Boots. Let's see. Who else we got? Jackie Delario. Have those drones descended into South Jersey yet? There he is, T. Jordan, Janice Phillips, Lynette Jardine, the lovely and talented one. Saving Austin one tooth at a time. Moira, enjoying a mini warm-up for Christmas. Looks like there'll be no snow this year. Oh, I like snow. When I was a kid, man, living in California, we didn't get it very often. When it came, it was a cool thing. I used to have a paper out. One day I did my paper out in the snow. It connected me back to other times when people did manual labor in visceral conditions. I felt like I really earned my money that day. Ryan, there he is, my man Ryan, coming over to the locals. Be a member. Big Dave Sullivan is here. Lisa Ann White, bringing the law. Julie Sunshine, 333. Julie, if you haven't heard it, I wanted to thank you for the coffee from last week. Let's see. We got Kelly B and S. Seeger brings something. Hi, Kelly B. I recently watched the film The Last Boy Scout, and if Robert was a 90s action movie, that's the one it'd be. All right, so this is funny that you bring this up. Has anybody played with Grock yet on Twitter X? It's their AI, and it started off with TruthStream Media. TruthStream Media typed in, "If I was a TV character, who would I be?" And it said Dana Scully from the X-Files, right? So I started fucking around with it, and I asked it all these questions. If I was this, if I was that, and it takes all your posts, right? And it what it does, it really understands. This is the scary part, is it understands the nature of your posts, and in a very kind of granular fashion, right? Granular fashion. And so I asked, if I was a movie character, who would I be? Now, a lot of other people have done this, and a lot of other people got very similar characters, right? Like Tyler Durden, Howard Beale, Fox Mulder. A lot of them very consistent. I was Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd's character. But then it got really interesting. Then I asked, well, if I was a rock star, so again, it's all based on posts, right? And it explains why too. So if I was a rock star, who would I be? And it said David Bowie. How about that? I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with everything, but I'll ask you as a group. And Sigrid, you got me started on this. I'll ask you as a group, if I was a sea creature, what would I be? And Joan, you can't do this because Joan knows. So if I was a sea creature, what would I be? Put your answer in chat. Let's see who gets it right. I'm going to go to the bottom here. Let's see who gets it right. If I was a sea creature. Athena, Grock told me it was Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction. Michael, I thought the same, but I wasn't. I was not. Amy Gill, ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Octopus. There you go. SpongeBob, I like that. Jackie DeLauro, you got it. No, I was an octopus. All right, I'll go one more here. All right, this is one more. I'm sorry to make it all about me, but one more. If I was a dessert, what would I be? Well, if I was a dessert, what would I be? Okay, this is the last one, I promise. What would I be if I was a dessert? Anybody got any answers to that? Polly Lama got Neo from The Matrix. Lynn Stoltz got the Phoebe Buffet from Friends. You got, nope, not pecan pie. Not tiramisu. Tiramisu's a good guess, though. I like the pineapple upside down cake. No rice pudding. All right, I'll give it to you. A summer pudding. Sorry to make it all about me. I know. It's your birthday, Sandra. I promise I'll play you a birthday tune. Baklava, because my posts are layered and have lots of different things inside of them. Crunchy and sweet one moment, right? Robert Souffle. You got octopus for dessert. I like Irish coffee. It's fun. Go play with Grock. Oh, so Zerlith, the Immortal, and I we had a moment yesterday. I got to talk about the moment. So yesterday I said I called him a Titan. Yes, I am flaky. Thanks, Josie. So I called him a Titan yesterday. And then he sends me a text because he was going back and forth. I think it was on X, and I think he was responding to Elon Musk or something. and he says, we're titans. We're fucking titans, little man. And I'm like, that is crazy, right? That is totally crazy. So we're living in this Pluto Aquarius world. And the network is getting ignited. The network is getting ignited. That was a cool moment, Steve. That was a very cool moment, right? Very cool moment. I have other stories, but I can't tell them here. I said, fuck you, small boy. We are Titans. That's exactly what so this is what happened. Yesterday, I called him a Titan. I said, Zerlith Immortal in the house. He's a Titan. And then he sends me this text where he said to Elon Musk, this is the day before, I said, fuck you, small boy. We are Titans. Isn't that, I love it, man. He called Earthlings small. And you got it right, brother. You got it right. I love it. I love it. All right. Should we do a little birthday thing for Sandra? What would be a good birthday song for Sandra? Peachy, you want to pick Sandra's birthday song? Come on over here. Peachy's going to pick Sandra's birthday song. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, Sandra, this is your birthday song, as picked by Peachy. As picked by Peachy. Here we go. This is for our good friend, Sandra Jack Shaw. Here we go. There you go. Another turn around the sun. Huzzah. Huzzah. Yes. Huzzah. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. All right. I have a white cat like that. It's deaf. White cats are a trip. White cats are a trip. Let's see. Hello, darling. Good morning, darling. Good morning, darling. Hi, I'm Bob Guccione, publisher from Penthouse Magazine. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. My kitty's name is Peachy. No. There's only one Peachy. There's only one Peachy. All right. Hold on. Okay. Here it is. There she blows. All right. Oh, we got to miss Sagittarius. I'm gonna miss Sagittarius. It gives me license for irreverence. We get all serious and shit when Capricorn rolls around. All right. Let's enjoy it while we can. Sun 27 degrees, Sagittarius. Just a few more days. I'll have to before the sun sets in Sagittarius, I will have to toast its remembrance. We have that. We had a nice little grand trine today. Look at that. Moon in Leo. I love it. You got the moon in Leo trine Mercury. No wonder I feel good today. I feel good today. I have a ribald sense of humor today. Mars, moon conjunction, Leo, Mercury coming in there. Keep it light. Keep it light. We got plenty of heavy coming. Right? We got plenty of heavy coming. So I'd say keep it light today, boys and girls. Keep them laughing. Keep them smiling. You know? Well, everybody's in snowshoes. You're on roller skates. Right? Today's the day. We got that sun coming in there, squaring Neptune, defying you. It is defying you. It is saying you must break through a sense of inertia in your life. This is the time, this time of year, Sun Neptune square. Who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? Oh my God, what are the drones about? Are they going to lock us up again? So many questions. It could be paralytic. Don't be Hamlet. Don't be Hamlet today. There's another path. And the other path is keep it light. Have some fun. Right? Play around, poke around, be curious. Make sure you get in at least one good belly laugh today. I think that's your prescription. We got Mercury coming in and trining Neptune. That's a nice trine. And especially because we're, it's just, and that trine's not going to last forever. This is like the last day of that trine. So take advantage of it. There's a lot of heightened psychic awareness, you know, and with Sagittarius is always making these incredible leaps in terms of processing information, like big leaps, jumps across canyons. And with that trine with Neptune, there's a sense that you'll make those leaps. Yeah, we do have Mercury coming in, and it's going to start to get into that heavier and heavier square with Saturn. We're not there yet. We 7 degrees, starting to feel it. The vice grip on freedom of speech, perhaps, getting slightly tighter. But I do think Mercury-Saturn squares can be good in terms of sharpening your speech, right? It forces you to be concise with your words, be clear with your words. So it's I think it's a nice combination of kind of play and fun and humor and witticisms, and at the same time also making sure that you don't talk about yourself for the entire portion of the podcast. You see, at a certain point, Mercury Saturn square kicked in, and it's like, enough about me. Let's talk about you, right? So yeah, I like it. The Mercury Saturn square is going to get heavier. Thoughts are going to get heavier. Don't worry. Don't worry. For all of you brooding types out there, there'll be plenty of heavy thoughts ahead in the days to come. And then this Mercury-Jupiter opposition is going to be, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? More. So I had this moment last night, right? I may talk about it over in 15 minutes, but I had this moment last night where I'm reading, oh, there's been a mass shooting in Towson, Maryland. I'm like, really? And this is on top of the shooting in Wisconsin. And I'm like, I have fucking false flag psychological operation fatigue. Okay? I have false flag psychological operation fatigue. Are you here to help me with that? Are you here to help me with that? Yes or no? Yeah, I know you don't. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's like, okay, let's look at the shooter. 15 years old, Christian school, 9mm handgun. Where's the manifesto? I have been doing this shit for years. I started going down these rabbit holes with these shootings years ago. I go all the way back to Virginia Tech, which, by the way, doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Here we go. Here's another one. And then, Towson, Maryland. Here's Towson, Maryland. Interesting. That's where Luigi Mangione's from. We have a mass shooting in Towson, Maryland last night. See, this is the Mercury-Jupiter opposition. It's kind of like, more. But it's also like in tiny bits and chunks, which is Jupiter and Gemini in retrograde. It's like, we don't have time to sit down and go, well, let's look at this. How does a 15-year-old get a gun? And the next thing you know, we got another one. And another one. And another one. I'm telling you, they're stacking the deck. And if you think that these shootings will suddenly disappear while Trump is in office, think again. Because when he was in office, they were happening all the time. Can you say Parkland, Marjorie Stoneman High School, David Hogg, right? It was happening all the time under Trump. The synagogue shooting in Poway, where the Rebbe who received a Medal of Honor from Trump was then later excommunicated for stealing all this money from the temple. I mean, come on now. Anyway, it's going to get heavy. When you get into this Mercury-Saturn square, laws are not far behind. Trust me. Right? The law is coming, and it's over here. Right? Remember, we got Chiron at 19 degrees, which is 1 degree off of the U.S. Chiron at 20 Aries. And I've been saying this for a long time. With this Chiron return, they're going to do everything they can to either limit guns or take the gun. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to do that, that's a whole different story. But they're going to try. That there's always an effort, and even within a Republican, look, Trump's got to get into office. That's the other thing. He's got to get into office, and we have this drone situation, which I do think is somewhat serious. I did a show yesterday, and Frank covered it last night, and the drones are basically the next layer of COVID. So, what happens if all of a sudden now Trump inherits a drone? They're going to make it difficult for him. And you can say, well, they're actors and they both play for the same. They don't both play for the same team. Now, they may have vested interests with one another because they have their own. Like when I think of Trump now, I think of a gang. I've always thought of politics and politicians as a gang. And Trump has a new gang. I'm surprised they don't all have like fucking X jackets. Like the new gang is JD Vance and Trump and Elon Musk and Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's like their mascot now, right? Like that's a gang. So they have these gangs, and sometimes their interests work together, and sometimes their interests work apart, right? So the gang that's currently in the White House, I think is going to make it extremely difficult for Trump when he comes in. It's like, oh, you get to inherit this. Like the metaphor is they've just been in this amazing Airbnb, a high-end Airbnb. We'll say it's a high-end Airbnb in Malibu, probably one of the most expensive Airbnbs you can get, right? and they're going to steal as much as they can from that Airbnb, and they're going to trash it as much as they can before they leave. Here you go. Next tenant, please. And walk in, and it's a hazard. Okay, let's talk about Venus coming in and trining Jupiter today. I like that. I like the Venus-Jupiter trine. You can have conversations with people that you don't have anything in common with that Venus-Jupiter trine. Especially with Mercury coming in sextiling Venus. Pay attention to conversations with strangers. And strangers should pay attention to conversations with you. Vice versa. It's one of those days. It's like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Well, now you do. So pay attention. Who knows? You might get a stock tip. By and large, I like the energy for today. Even the oppositions with the Moon, Mars, Leo. I mean, come on. It's kind of bright and cheery, fun. And it's opposing Pluto and Venus. You know what that's like? It's like you're the light. You're the incandescence. When you're in the room today, you light up the room. That's just awareness, right? I mean, this is the thing about life. If we have presence of mind and awareness, everything changes. This is the nature of reality. So when you think about this for a moment, right? How many times do you enter a room where you just open the door and you walk in? Right? I'm going to open the door. I'm going to walk in. What would happen if just before you open that door, you pause for a second and you ask yourself, what kind of experience do I want to have when I open this door and I walk in this room? And you may know why you're going there. It could be because, well, you got to talk to your boss because the sales quotas are low, right? So what? What kind of experience do I want to have when I open this door? And then you can consciously choose what kind of experience you want to have. And you can say to yourself, I want to have an experience that when I leave this room, people and myself are better off for me having opened the door and walked in. And that's not egotistical. If we're looking at life as an equation, you're adding, not subtracting to the experience. But you could have any kind of experience, right? You just dial it up. What kind of experience do I want to have when I enter this room? I'd like to learn something new and useful. Right? It's up to you. It's presence of mind. What happens on the other side of that door, for the most part, is what you make of it. So we have this opposition today, and it's like, okay, you're at the gates of something. What do you choose to do? Who do you choose to be? What kind of experience do you choose to have? What kind of experience would you like other people to have? Now, it may not turn out to be perfect, but I guarantee you, with your presence of mind and your awareness, asking a question, perhaps coming to some resolution with that question, your experience will be different. It will be different than just opening the door and walking in. Try it. All right. Let's get into our star of the day. Our True Hemp Science star of the day. Let's see. Susie agrees with me. Look at Claire. Being responsible for your energy. That's why I didn't speak yesterday until I said bye. Let's see. Who else? Are you feeling the glow from me today? Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, we're feeling it. Susie G agrees with me. She's a Gemini. She gets it. Let's see. Oh, we had Scrubbies. Usually do, Robert. Right here, Susie. Right here. Right here. Right there. Okay. Let me do the banner. All right. Let's talk about True Hemp Science. True Hemp Science, your one-stop shop for all things CBD. I tell you right now, during the holiday season, you may want to have a little extra on the side, especially if you have to deal with in-laws. One of these great little Starlight gummies will come in very handy. It's what I call the holiday communion. And if you are going to visit some in-laws, you may want to just take a little bit of the edge off the experience, if you know what I'm saying. You'll get that and whatever else Chris decides to throw in the goodie bag. If you spend $100 or more at really the best, it is the best. To think about this now, it is the best CBD shop in Austin. Okay. Now, Austin is the 10th largest city in the United States. And if we were to pick one CBD shop, just one from every other 9 cities in America, True Hemp Science would be one of the top CBD shops in America. You see, that's how you do the math. Since Austin is the 10th largest city in the country, now we don't know if it's 1 through 10. We haven't done that ranking yet. But because there's 9 other cities that have a higher population, top 10 cities in America, there's going to be one CBD shop for every city. It's one of the top rated CBD shops in the country, just based on that alone, right? So you spend $100 more, type in 15MINS, and you will get a free goodie bag with your CBD order. $150 more, get you free shipping, and there's always a 30-day money back guarantee. But very few people use it. You know what happened today? Man, I totally messed this up. Okay, so I've got to do this quickly now. I have to do this very, very quickly. I am literally on the fly in it right now. This is an exercise in improvisation, because I did this last night. And well, actually, fact of the matter is I didn't do it last night. So I'm doing it right now. This is just a complete exercise in let's see. This is an exercise in, let me get a better picture than that. Let's do it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's what I want. Hold on. Don't go away. Here we go. It's so weird. Like, it's just we live in such a different time in many, many ways. Let's do this. Hold on. Such a different time. It's a good thing I got through the weather fast. Yeah, let's just do this really quickly. Oh, we're almost there. I appreciate your patience. We always got to have some kind of a context here, right? And visuals certainly help. They tell a story. Okay. Okay, here we go. I did it. On the fly. On the fly. Here we go. Here we go. Your True Hemp Science star of the day. Let me hide the banner. Is none other than Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This guy right here. So supposedly his death is the trigger and the precursor for World War I, because it marks the end of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and he's the presumptive heir of that. This is when basically Europe is breaking up from monarchies. Now, here's the funny thing about Europe in the monarchical breakup. That, in a lot of ways, that was just kind of a ruse, right? Like they were going to have nation states. They were going to have some form of representative democracy, and yet a lot of these royal figures are still there, and they're still running the show, right? Whether it's been the royal family of England or Beatrix, right? There's still the royal bloodline that lurks behind everything, except for this one. So Franz Ferdinand inherits an explosive situation, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and this is, by the way, is the Habsburgs. They are experiencing tension in parts of their realm that want independence. They don't want to be a part of this. Specifically, places like Montenegro, Croatia, which they oversee. It's part of their territory. And he's supposed to marry into royalty, right? That's what he's supposed to do. He does not marry into royalty. He marries Sophie. This is his wife, and she is not of peerage. She is not of peerage, and he loves her so much, that basically he and she sign away. And I think in a lot of ways, right, this is where he makes a fatal error. Had he married, now it's no guarantee, because Nicholas and Alexandra wind up. That's the wrong one. Shit. Hold on a second. I have to change this. I apologize. It's a good thing I went through the. Let's see. What is it? That's no. No, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah, even though you are in, or you marry into royalty, there's no guarantee that royalty is going to be honored, because Alexandra was theoretical royalty, right? All right, let me go back here. I so apologize today. And I thought, I'm going to have a perfect show today. I'm going to have a perfect show today. I'm going to be flawless today. Not the case. All right, hold on. There we go. All right. Now, I'm just going to do this. Now I'm just going to, because you got the visual of them. right? You get the visual of them. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. So the next thing I'm going to bring up will be the chart that we need to look at. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. All right, so let me throw this up here. All right, continuing the story of Ferdinand and Sophie. So he marries her, and there are conditions for the marriage. And the conditions are that she does not have a title, such as a princess or queen. And the other thing that's really kind of stunning about all of this is that he cannot travel with her in an open carriage in a parade. And this guy loves her, right? He totally loves her. And he decides that he's going to go to Prague, and he's basically going to go on like a tour, and it will be kind of a goodwill tour because he's trying to figure out how to deal with the restless masses. Now, the restless masses, this is around the same time that communism, Bolshevism, right, has taken hold. This is 1918. This is when let me just make sure here. God, I'm so out of it today. You know, even that's not right, because I knew it's not right. Give me a second. I promise I'll get there. I'll get there. No, it has to be 1914, Roberts, not 1918. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's get rid of that. This is 1914. And 1914 is, well, now we got it. Third time's a charm. Here we go. Thank you for your patience. See, I didn't even start the reading. And I knew it wasn't right. Okay, so 1914, you have communism, Bolshevism, it's on the rise. And it's taking hold of places like Sarajevo, Montenegro, you know, the Balkans, right? Like, this is where this unrest is occurring. And he decides to basically go on this tour, ill-fated tour, in an open air car. And he had other cars with him. And in the other cars, they had, guys, they used to have these running boards on the sides of cars. So they had guys with, armed rifles. It was kind of like a convoy, right? And he did this because he wanted to show her off. Right? He wanted to show her off. He couldn't do it at home. So he thinks, okay, I'll go on this goodwill tour. I'll bring Sophie with me. I get to be proud of her. I get to meet with other heads of state who are basically running our little fiefdom out here. And it'll be like a holiday. Well, it wasn't. They narrowly escaped at least 2 assaults on their vehicle before I believe they were going to Prague. They get to Prague, and all hell is breaking loose, and they have to leave. Right? They're not there for very long. All right, so let's just I'm going to pick the story up there in a second. Let's just take a look at his chart. So he's got the sun in the first house. He's a Sagittarius, and he is forced with this task of reforming the monarchical model that he has inherited, and he has chosen a mate who kind of dooms him in some ways, right? So he has Saturn in Libra on the midheaven, and Saturn is exalted in Libra, right? And so he's making a commitment to a relationship vis-a-vis this woman, Sophie. And he's making a stand with this, right? Like he's says, fuck it. I don't care, if there are, less perks for me and this family for choosing a woman outside of a bloodline that I love. Well, he pays the price for it in some ways. Now, I'm not saying there was a conspiracy to kill her because she wasn't part of the bloodline, but it does happen. Now, again, Alexandra was part of the bloodline and she got killed. So, this thing works both ways, right? He's got Venus out here too, 10th house. He's got all these planets in the 11th house, Jupiter, true node, right? So I think Ferdinand is kind of in this space where he does want to have some reforms. He does want to have kind of more local governorship in these places. I think the idea of elections, is something he's open to. But the problem here is that the guy who kills him, Gavril Princip, is part of what's called the Black Hand, which is a radical communist anarchist group, right? So you're dealing with these people, right? You're dealing with the insurgents of Marxism and Bolshevism, and it's spreading, right? So it's kind of a weird thing, right? Like you want to do reform, but if you give too much, they'll take a mile. But he's trying to do that, right? And the 11th house is kind of social. And he has Venus in Scorpio, and so he's going to make this sacrifice for this woman, right? So they go off on this journey, and then they have to go back. And they miss a turn for the main road. And this is in Sarajevo. And one of the assassins, as the story goes, was sitting there eating a sandwich. And he had a pistol. And he was ready for action that day. And it looked like the Ferdinands were going to get out of Dodge. But they miss this turn, and there's so many of them that it takes a while to come back and make this turn to get back on the main highway or the main road. And he notices them, and he says, "This is it. I'm going in for the kill." And this is theoretically the beginning of World War I. So he shoots Sophie, who is pregnant, by the way. She's pregnant. And then eventually he shoots Ferdinand. Now, she dies before he dies, right? And this has a massive ripple effect because at that point, the dynasty of the Habsburgs is now considered illegitimate, and their fortune and everything associated with them gets taken. So none of his heirs get anything. Right? It is all absorbed by the quote unquote state and whomever the other parts of the dynastic families who come in and swoop in on their wealth like carrion, right? So this thing sends Europe into a complete and utter turmoil. So we're on the verge of World War I. We're on the verge of the Bolshevik Revolution, which really lasts about 10 years and culminates 3 years later in 1917. So what are the effects here? Well, look at Mars, right? So we have this Mars transit through the sign of Virgo, conjunct the south node and conjunct the moon. Not good. Not good. Squaring Ferdinand's natal Mars, really at the final degree of Sagittarius. Mars square. The moon is the woman in his life, right? It's this maternal figure. Not good. Now, at that time, Mars and the moon were in the 12th house as far as the zodiac goes. What is Mars in the 12th house? It's hidden enemies. Hello? Right? All of a sudden, the hidden enemy became exposed. We go over to the 6th house, and there's that true node. Right there, sitting right on Ferdinand's Chiron. Right there. The wound. Right? The wound. And he becomes this sacrificial figure, which triggers World War I. Transiting Saturn. Now, this is interesting because with Uranus in the 7th house, he makes the choice of an unusual mate, right? There's your Uranus in action. For all you people out there who have Uranus in the 7th house, it can work. But who you have as your partner or mate cannot conform to societal standards. Like, they have to be different. They have to be either from a different culture, a different religion, a different part of the world, possibly a different age group, right? You get that with Uranus there, and you can have a longer term relationship. If you don't have that, then what happens? You wind up going through strange connections, serial monogamy, not often of your own doing, right? So this is understanding Uranus. Now here's Saturn. Saturn's on his Uranus and it's opposing his sun, right? So he's got a Saturn-Sun opposition. And in some ways, the choice of her as a mate dooms him. Because if he had chosen somebody else, he could have taken his little car rides, around Austria, around Vienna, and, showed off his beautiful bride. But he couldn't do that, right? There was limitations. So he takes her on a road trip and to show her off with all these other people where he can do it. And it's the end of them. Pluto transiting through his 7th house. Hello. Pluto opposing his sun. Hello. Right. And again, in many ways, she's the cause of the death. Now you could say, well, it was destined or fated. Yeah, I suppose. Right. But he could have gone by himself. I mean, he was going there to inspect like these territories and, try to bolster the leadership, the boots on the ground by showing them a sign of strength, right? I'm with you. And we're going to try to work with you, but it doesn't work out that way because he has to bring this woman that he's, he can't do. Venus square. Venus is in Leo, right? And it's in the 11th house at that moment. And if we look at Sun Pluto, right, in the moment of that time, Saturn is right on the midheaven in Gemini, right? It's on the midheaven in Gemini. And we have Sun Pluto conjunction in the 10th house of the zodiac, right? Death is reigning at that time. This is, to me, this is one of the major zodiacs. Major zodiac. So the guy who killed here, I'll give you, this is the guy who killed him. Gavrilo Princip, born July 25th. I've seen this chart before. July 25th. So he's what? Late degree Cancer, right? July 20. No, actually, I take that back. Early degree Leo. Early degree Leo. So his sun is going to be right there. Right there, conjunct transiting Neptune. Right? So he was going through a Neptune Sun conjunction. He's probably insane. He was probably insane and deluded. And then his son, Gavrilo Princip's son, is in Franz Ferdinand's 8th house. which is the house of Scorpio and death, right? And even with like Black Moon Lilith in his 8th house, he's got Black Moon Lilith in Leo, right? And that's all about like, royalty and the shadow of royalty and these weird rules that he has to abide by. And this is it. I'm telling you, right? Like that's his sun right there, right in there. And it's in a wide conjunction with that Black Moon Lilith. If he does not take her, history's changed. If he doesn't marry her, history's changed. And I'm sure she was a fine woman. She had to have been for him to break the code, right? And at the end of the day, that love, theoretically, in principle, is the domino effect to start World War I. So there you go. Today's True Hemp Science star of the day, Crown Duke Prince Ferdinand, right? Soon to be Crown Duke, Prince Ferdinand, the inheritor of the Habsburg dynasty, his beloved Sophie, and the tragedy that struck them, thus triggering World War I. Now, there are people who say, well, that never happened. I mean, seriously, there are people who so apparently nothing ever happened historically. So everything I just said, forget about it. No, whatever the reasons for World War I, this event triggered it. And the world has not been the same since. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for putting up with the glitches in the astrological matrix. Go out there. Figure out who you want to be when you open that door. All right. Much love to you all. Mods, thank you. Chataria, you're the best. Treat each other well. We'll see you over on 15 Minutes of Flame. Bye for now.